so now in this lecture, we'll be talking about parent-child and sibling relationships that exist between elements. So we'll be answering 3 important questions like what is a parent, what is a child, and what is a sibling. So a parent element is basically the containing element in which all other elements are basically nested within. A simple way to illustrate this, of course, would be just to go div here, div, and then I could just say ID is equal to parent, or maybe I should just say container. And let me just have 3 paragraphs here nested within. So I'm just going to call this one, I'm just going to write paragraph 1 here. Paragraph 1. Let's copy this and I'm going to paste it twice more and to paragraph 3. So now let me just explain what a parent is. So a parent basically is the element in which all other elements are nested within. So for example, this div here would be the parent element of these paragraphs, and the paragraphs, because they are nested within the actual div tag, they would be the children element, and the children element being nested in the parent element will themselves be called siblings because they're sort of adjacent to each other, they're next to each other in the nested structure here. So I hope that makes sense. So this is the parent. Each paragraph here would constitute the children of the parent, and each child of the parent is basically a sibling. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And now let's just talk about how we can access this stuff in JavaScript. So for example, here I'm just going to use, let's just get element by ID first. So I'm just going to remove these comments here, and I'm going to say container. Let's just say let container equals to document.get element by ID in the following way. And of course, we have to pass in the name here, and the name here is container, certainly. Excuse me. Container. Okay, so now we've got our element container and it's stored in a variable called container, right? And to go ahead and select the children of this container, we have to use a property here, property called children. So we just go here, let me just go console.log, show you how this works, and then we go container, right? And let's just see what displays here. Hopefully there's no syntactical errors. Remember to go to your developer tools to view the console. So more tools, developer tools in Chrome, and now let me just save and refresh. There we go. So it returns an array of 3 elements. So basically P1, P2, P3, and certainly here, I could just say here, because this is an array, essentially, I could actually just style the second. Let's just say I wanted to style the second one. So remember, we'll be using 0 index, so 0, 1, 2. I could just say container.parent, container.children at the index of 1, right? So that'll be paragraph 2, 0, 1, and I want to go without style, so I'm going to access the style object, and then I'm going to go style the background color, for example. Excuse me, this is how you declare background color, and then you go, let's just say green. Show you how this works. Let's see here. So yeah, conceptually, once you understand, everything just falls into place, right? You just understand this is an array, right? And when I just say container.children, the property basically returns an array. Consequently, you can easily just change the color in the following way. Incidentally, there is another property for the parent container here, and that is called the firstElementChild. There are other ones that exist, and you would have guessed it, the firstElementChild would be this one, since it's the firstElementChild that shows up. So let me just show you this. So container.firstElementChild, like this, and just note that it's beautifully written in camel case here. And let's see what displays now. Let me just refresh here. There we go. Paragraph 1. That'll be the firstElementChild of this parent. And we can also access the parent container using the children, incidentally. So to accomplish this, I'm just going to go, let me just put an ID here and just say this is para 1. Or I could just, yeah, just say para 1 for simplicity's sake. And then I'm going to get para 1 here using document.get element by ID. Let me just copy this actually, just to save time. Document.get element by ID. I'm going to go para 1, and I'm going to let first child, for example, equals document.get element by ID, para 1. Now that I've got para 1, I'm just going to access the parent element. So I'm going to go console.log, and actually I should just remove the extraneous stuff here. So I'm going to go first child, which is the paragraph 1 that we got using the document.element get element by ID, and I'm going to go parent element. I'm going to use the parent element property, and I'm just going to save this. And now I'm just going to actually, let me just delete all this stuff here just to make it simple now. Okay, let's put some space. So there we go, equals, and there we go. So let's just see what displays now. If I refresh the page, There we go. Container is the parent, of course. So once again, container here is the parent. Let's talk about the siblings. So for example, these are all siblings here, as was already mentioned. So I can just go ID. I could just say parent2, for example. Parent2 ID is equal to parent3. To put this in double quotes, of course. And of course, let me just wipe out everything here. Actually, let me just wipe out everything here. And let me just get parent2, for example. Let me just go here, second child instead. Second child. And I'm just going to say let here. And I'm going to go parent2. So second child document again, I'm parent2. So I'm going to get parent2. Now I'm going to, through parent2, I'm going to try to interact or try to get the other siblings. So I'm just going to go here, second child that we called it. So second child, and then I'm going to go para. Then I'm going to go previousElementSibling, right? previoSelementSibling, like that. And of course, it's very easy to see. We get parent1 because I selected the second parent2, and the previous sibling would be parent1. And in the same way, as you would have guessed it, the nextElementSibling, of course, would be parent3, right? So let's refresh here. There we go. So parent3. So that's basically it. And some other things that you have to note here. I can certainly nest this div here, which is a parent in itself, and nest it within another div so that it will be the child of that div. You see that? And of course, the div itself actually is a child of the body tag, believe it or not, because it's nested within the body tag. So yeah, but once you understand these three conceptions, everything else falls into place. So thank you very much.